Hi, everyone. Great to see everybody here. I think it's a beautiful day out there finally. Anyway, if we could all please stand.
We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we spend a moment in silence for our first responders, our military, and our community folks that passed away. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen, in the future, maybe you should stand at the microphone to say that because people can't hear that at home.
It's in front of the flag. I
Yeah,
didn't want
yeah,
to
no,
stand.
but yeah, okay. I'd like to just introduce our members of the board here, please.
Kathleen Macy,
Noreen Farrell.
Rosemary Panio.
Jenny Menton,
Serafina Mastro.
Maria Fama.
Deborah Marks, Liaison to Assemblyman Slater's office.
Joe Falcone, Recreation Commission Liaison.
okay. I'm sorry to say Supervisor Ed Lackerman couldn't attend, but we do have Sergio Esposito here who's going to come up and give us a few important messages about our town.
How's everybody doing? Good to see you all.
Doing
How's
great.
everybody? So I just wanted to go over a few events and talk about the road outside really quickly. Tomorrow, May 16th, is we're having a fishing derby. So that's going to be fun. And there's also going to be the SPCA Westchester Dog Walk and Pet Fair. That's at FDR Park. So I was there last year. It's very cute. It's quite big. It's quite large. There's a lot of dogs and dog lovers, and it's really a great event. So last year it rained a little bit. Hopefully tomorrow it's not going to. As far as Memorial Day works, our Memorial Day activities are starting on Friday, May 22nd at the JOC Clubhouse. That's Jefferson Village. There's going to be a Memorial Day Remembrance service. It's brief, and that's going to be at 11 a.m. On Memorial Day itself, we are going to start off honoring our veterans at the Vietnam Memorial at Lakeland High School. It's kind of like when you pull in and you park, it's right there. It's on the side between the actual building and the football field. Easy to find, and that's at 9 a.m. And then we're going to have a ceremony at Veterans Memorial Circle, which is right here, and that's at 10 a.m. And then we're going to have a parade from Veterans Memorial Circle going to Veterans Road, and that'll be at 11 a.m. All right, so try to come. It's a lot of fun. It's a great town event, and there's going to be a lot of people out. So it's really a good time.
What's the date again?
The fishing derby is May 16th. The SPCA Westchester Dog Walk is May 16th. Memorial Day is Memorial Day. And the Friday the 22nd, May 22nd, is going to be at the JOC Clubhouse. Okay?
Thank you.
So we also have really cool stuff. We are at the Revolution 250. Hello, how are you? The 4th annual Rochambeau Festival will take place in Yorktown Heights on June 6th and June 7th, 2026. It's going to be hosted at the Yorktown Grange Fairgrounds, also known, by the way, as Rochambeau Park. This two-day immersive living history event commemorates America's 250th anniversary and honors the historic Franco-American alliance during the Revolutionary War. It's really quite great. There's going to be a bunch of reenactors, all dressed in garb. They're going to be camps. They're going to have a whole bunch of activities all day long, and you get to meet George Washington. I met him a couple of weeks ago. I told him he's got to get rid of the curls. It's just, it's not the 20th century. You know what I mean? So he disagreed with me. So I wasn't going to argue with him. He had a big sword. So it's really cool, and you get to meet General Rochambeau. So that was General Washington's counterpart from the French. Really a great event. A lot of activities. A lot of people going to be around. There's going to be music. it's really something that you guys should try to attend. It's 2 days, so you could pick and choose the best time when you could get there. And then on the revolutionary track, June 9th at 6 p.m. There's going to be Ghosts of the Revolution. They're going to be stories of the Ghosts of the Revolution at the John C. Hart Memorial Library. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think it runs from 6 p.m. to 7:30, right? So any questions on that? All right. What I wanted to do is I wanted to bring something to everybody's attention because I originally thought this was a scam. This is a form that my parents received from the Department of Taxation and Finance, and it's regarding STAR benefits. And for some reason, a lot of people are getting this letter. The original letter came in January, and in January, all you had to do was go on their website and report your income or something like that. They had some questions for you to continue your STAR benefits. I didn't do that because I thought it was a scam. I was like, what is this? I've never seen this. Why? I called our finance department, our tax department, assessor, and they were like, no, you have the STAR benefits. Your parents have it. So turns out that you had 45 days to respond. And about mid-April, they received this letter, this actual letter, saying your STAR benefits have been disallowed, right? It's called the disallowance of 2026 STAR exemption. Now, the troubling part about it is not only is the 2026, is it disallowed, but if you're a senior, you qualify for the enhanced STAR program as well. So you get two. You get STAR, and then you get enhanced STAR. But guess what? You can't get enhanced STAR unless you have STAR first. So if you receive something like this, please, you have 45 days to respond. This letter came to my parents on April 15th, 2026. So there's a way to contest it. I mean, you guys qualify if you're under the $500,000, cap. You qualify for STAR. All right. So if anybody's in here is making $500,000 or more, please text me. I'd like to have a conversation. Should I have said that? No. All right, that's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You guys know I'm kidding. Maybe. But anyway, so that's, so it's important because this letter came April 15th, and you have 45 days to contest it. So this way you could get your STAR benefits. If you need help, just reach out to me here at Town Hall. Unless you have my cell phone number, you could call me on my cell. But it's something that if these things came out on April 15th, you have 45 days, and 45 days is like the next couple of weeks.
Sergio?
Yeah.
Anytime something comes from the state, if you're not sure, please call our office also, because I've been dealing with that at work too.
Yeah.
So you can call like your state senator, your state assembly person, if you get a letter from the state and you're not sure. And then we can help you do what you need to do or get where you need to go with it also. It's better safe than sorry.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I had went on, when I realized it, I went on and I went on their website and I filled out the form that you had to do for my parents, and then I was like, maybe I'm good, I don't know. And then I got this letter. So what I did was I printed up what I reported, and I printed up the form that you can't do this online, now you have to mail it in. So I downloaded the form to contest it, to tell them to change their mind. And I filled it out. It's very easy to fill out. You got to give them a reason. We could tell you what to write, as far as your reason. Your reason is you qualify, because you live in your primary residence. There's a whole bunch of criteria. So we list the criteria as to why they should not disallow your STAR benefits. So it's important. And you only have, I don't know if all these letters came out on the same date, April 15th, but Jenny, what was yours? Let me see.
Mine is the 15th also.
So she got hers on the April 15th as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna help
Fill it
Jenny out, and we're gonna send this in. But it's money. It's real money. Especially for you guys with the enhanced question.
Well, not
everybody
everyone got it.
did.
So the question was that she didn't receive anything. So I'm assuming that if you didn't receive anything, then you're fine, right? I don't know what the criteria is, why these are going out to certain people and not other people. At first I thought it might have been, your tax filings or something. Maybe they were late, but I do my dad's taxes. I handle that, and he's up to date. So it's not, and this is based on your 2024. So it's not even based on this year's taxes. So I don't know what the criteria is and the reasoning for it. You had a question?
No, no, sure, you could look it up, I think.
We can look up why they got it, but we got notified that they were, we were notified that they were sending stuff. It was to verify, I think, that people were still eligible for the program. So I guess if they felt you were still eligible, fine. It could have been that there, in some cases, maybe a death in the family. In some cases, some people might have moved. In some cases, they might have thought something different happened with the income. So it was really just a verification process.
Well, maybe
So nobody's-
that's why
and
I
also
got it.
just so everybody's aware, not all of us seniors get Enhanced Star. That's an income eligible thing also. So if you don't have it, it's maybe not that you should always check to make sure, because the income's pretty high now for Enhanced Star. It's not like it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I don't
that
know.
difficult to
We have a
qualify.
hand out
Anyway, what was your question, ma'am?
Lois,
When you say income eligible, can you expand on that?
sure,
One, like, number two is, what department did the letter come from? So I
okay.
We have to repeat.
It's
I can repeat her question for her. Lois wanted to know, what did we mean by income eligible, and what department did the letters come from? The letters came from the New York State Department of Taxation, and income eligible means that there is a requirement. So for instance, for regular Star, the income requirement is up to $500,000.
For a married couple.
I keep hoping that not going to be eligible
You're
for
not
that.
gonna be,
It's never happened.
I'm hoping to.
But for the Enhanced Star for seniors, it's a different, I don't know what it is, but it's a different, I mean, I can look it up for you, but it's a different income level. It's lower, a much lower level. And then there's Senior Star and then Enhanced Senior Star.
There's two, yeah.
There's two now. So we can look it up. We'll look it up.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Sure, you have to, I can't keep all the numbers in my head for all the different things, but
So-
I'm gonna look it up for you.
Yeah.
And Sergio's gonna
I
do.
gave you the
He's
number.
got more to say, maybe?
So, yeah, so on, just so you know, on the regular Star, if you're single, it's 250,000 or less to qualify. And if you're a married couple, it's 500, right? And I don't know what the enhanced ones are. I have to look into it. But the important thing, and the reason why I brought this up, is because it caught me by surprise, and I'm on top of things, you know? And I handle all my dad and my mom's finances and everything, and everything from taking them to the doctor to, you know, I brought their check in to pay their taxes a couple of weeks ago when it was due. So this caught me by surprise.
Ready, got an
So
answer.
I'm sorry.
We have an answer to Lois's question. For the 2026-2027 school year, the income limit for the New York State Enhanced Star exemption credit is $110,750 or less. This applies to the combined federal adjusted income of all homeowners and their spouses residing on the property, based on data from 2 years prior, 2024, for the 2026-2027 school year.
Jenny?
That's pretty
No,
high
I
now.
was just saying, because if you haven't received the letter, don't do anything about it, right? Don't call, don't
No.
upset the apple cart, correct?
I don't think you're
Definitely
gonna. I don't think you're gonna upset anything.
Yeah.
But like I said, for me, to be quite honest, I received it as well. I didn't even know I had it. I saw my dad's, and then I was doing my taxes, and I have an envelope, and I'm very simple. I put 2025 taxes, and when a letter comes in and it says important tax information, I put it in the envelope, and then when it's time, I hand it to my account. You know, so I was getting that all together, and my letter was in there, so somebody must have saw tax department and put it in there. I didn't even know I had it. So that's all, and I just want to raise awareness to it. You know, I don't want to don't panic, but if you did receive it, you do have to respond. If you haven't already filed and taken care of it. That's all. That's it. Any other questions on that? I saw some other hands.
I did get it, and it was like, I get all this garbage stuff, so.
But that's the fear, right? That's why I'm bringing it to everybody's attention, you know. And it's kind of like I give it an example. It's kind of like AI. Everybody thinks AI is right all the time, and often AI is wrong. So, but we rely on it. you know, because we think it's always right and it's infallible, and it's not. And this is the same idea. You know, we look at these things, you get 1,000 pieces of mail a day, you know, and 3/4 of it is just junk, you know, and it's easy for it to get lost, right? And that's why I'm bringing attention to it. I thought it was very important. So, any other questions on this? Nope.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. So, as far as outside goes, what we're looking at is the road improvements are almost done. They finally, I harassed them until they restriped the other side of Underhill because it was a little confusing the way it was. So that's at least that's temporary markings, but the road paving is set to be completed before Memorial Day. That's what they're telling me. You know, I'm looking out there and I'm like, I don't know, but that's what they're talking about. The road is performing well, especially with the striping, and traffic is flowing. And Underhill is having their grand opening tomorrow, and I think they're already starting to do the 55 and over condos are already available if anybody's interested. You know, I think they're open, right? So that's pretty much all I got. Question?
I thought they were going to do the concrete sidewalks all the way up to Rochambeau.
So that's what we want to do. I have to talk to Ed about it. We did have a conversation about it. That wasn't part of the original site plan and everything. But I'm all for, you know, it's not their responsibility, but I'm all for extending that. We're also the road is getting widened here with that one pole that we couldn't take down because Verizon didn't show up. That's finally that they're going to widen this road, and we're actually going to extend this sidewalk a little bit into the driveway here. Because if you're in a wheelchair and you're coming down this street or this sidewalk, you end up on a hill on how to get onto the blacktop and come to town hall. So we're fixing that problem as well. But I will check to see what we do. The original intent was for us to pave all the way up to Rochambeau, which would look really nice. I don't know. I know that one of my pet peeves is the blacktop that they used in sidewalks years ago. The town was doing that instead of concrete. Bizarre to me, but you know, that's blacktop. You know, it's so as a sidewalk. So I would really like to see that cleaned up. You know, that would be nice. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Sergio, please, will you tell me your cell phone number?
Sure. It's 914-433-0575. Feel free to write it down. It's all over the internet. So
Do it again, please.
sure. 914-433-0575, and anyone is free to call me at any time. I'm
Thank you.
very dedicated to this, so I like to help.
You said that.
What's that?
You may be sorry you said that.
It's all right. I won't be. Any other questions? Yes. The question is it an open house at Underhill tomorrow? Yes, it is. I forget the time. I think it's, if you want, I can look it up, but I don't want to waste, 12 o'clock? Thank you. It's at 12 o'clock. It is an open house. They are going to have a ribbon cutting.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, I'm preoccupied with something else. I got to work, so I might not. I'm going to try to get there, but I might not be there. But there'll be, you know, I'm sure cake and coffee and all that fun stuff, and they're going to cut a ribbon. So, and you get to see inside and do all of that good
The
stuff.
old house, you know where it's gonna be? Right where the old house entrance is or the new entrance? You know, not sure.
I believe no. You're gonna go in. I think through the regular entrance. Yeah, that's the only way to get in. You know, you could see the front. They made it beautiful. The steps up front. It really came out nice. I really like the way that came out. It makes it look nice. New fence and all that. New wrought iron fence. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. Nice to see all of you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sergio. Very nice. This afternoon, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce to you a man by the name of Sal Costanza, not related to George. And Sal is definitely a person that we really want to know what he has to offer. He is the partner at Maker for Gale and D. Costanzo, LLP, and he focuses his practice on elder law, estate planning, wills, trusts, probate, Medicaid planning, and special needs planning. Attorney and accountant, Salvatore is frequent lecturer and author on elder law and estate planning topics. He has been recognized annually by super lawyers since 2013 as a leading New York Metro elder law attorney and received the Westchester County Above the Bar Award in 2014. Please join me in welcoming Sal. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Thank you.
I just want to express my gratitude for being invited here today. I really appreciate a lot of familiar faces. I'm always happy to come out and say a few things about the practice of elder law. Can you hear me? Yeah? I'll try to get close. So I'm right up the street, Compound Road right here. I don't know if anybody knows Barbara Deal's house over there.
Yeah.
I've been here for 23 years.
Newcomer.
And yeah, right. And you know, I practice. My practice is focused on elder law and estate planning, and I am an accountant as well. I'm not the most boring person in the world, but I do tax returns. We just got done with the tax season, and the reason why this works out really well is because taxes run right through elder law and estate planning, right? If we're going to talk to you about a trust and putting your house into a trust, you're going to ask me, okay, what happens about the star exemption, right? Right. And you're going to ask me about, what happens if I want to sell it someday and the cost basis and all these other things, right? So that's what I do. And I'm skimming over, the in-depth portions of my practice because I want to be respectful of the time here as well. So I thought, I'd just mention a few things that I think are hot, not to say hot topics, but what everybody should be thinking about. The typical person that comes into my office, what are the main topics that we're addressing? And some of the very basics, some of the low-hanging fruit. Everybody in this room should have a well-drafted power of attorney, right? It's amazing how often people just take it for granted that a power of attorney does not need to be prepared by an attorney. You can get off the internet, right? Serge, you mentioned AI, ChatGPT, right? Well, in the world of elder law, it's a really big problem, right? Because a lot of people go onto the internet. There's a lot of information out there, right? And it could be useful. I'm not somebody that's trying to talk against AI and things like that. It could be very useful, but it's useful by the individuals or the practitioners that already have a knowledge base, right? So I just actually started, kind of dipping my toes into the AI world. And, especially like in the tax season. I've been preparing tax returns for 30 years. And, I might be in the heat of it in March. And, I'm just not sure of something. But I already have a really good fundamental base knowledge as to what a tax return needs to look like and the way it's supposed to flow. And I go on to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, what are the rules regarding this particular deduction? And it's right there, But I generally always I just did this today. I was looking up, some tax rules in the Internal Revenue Code for a trust that I'll mention in a minute, which is one of our most popular trusts. And it gave me an answer. And then I took their answer and then I went and sort of confirmed that, right? I went to the Internal Revenue Code like we used to do in the old days, right? And I went and read the statute real quick just to make sure it was not hallucinating, right? So I say all this because you've got to be careful. I'm not going to stand up here and advocate that you have to work with me, but you should strongly consider working with an attorney, right? And be careful about what you learn on the internet. And be careful about different vendors out there. I'm not going to name names, right? But vendors that are selling things like wills and powers of attorney and healthcare proxies and trust, which is very dangerous if you draft the wrong trust. So powers of attorney are super important because if you lose your capacity, we need somebody to be in a position to handle your financial affairs. And if you lose your capacity and you don't have a power of attorney, or you have a very, what we would call a boilerplate power of attorney that you could get off the internet, that it hasn't been modified by an attorney. We didn't put our bells and whistles into that power of attorney. We could end up in a guardianship. And I don't know if anybody in here has been in a guardianship proceeding before, but it's not fun. You know, it's not what we're planning for, right? Guardianships require us to go down to the courthouse and file a petition and pretty much ask the court to determine you to be incapacitated and appoint somebody to handle your affairs, right? So we don't want that. So powers of attorney, super, super important. Everybody should have one and should have a good one, a properly drafted one. Healthcare proxies. If you can't make your medical decisions, we want to have a piece of paper that allows somebody else to make your medical decisions, right? Again, there's a whole host of people that walk into my office that don't have that. And there are certain statutes in New York State that could back you up. I'm not going to get into that. You got to be in a hospital setting. By the way, in New York State, beginning on August 6th, I believe is the effective date, we now have the new aid in dying law in New York. Not here to talk about that, but if you're interested, I mean, I can come back. There's a lot we could talk about, right? There's so much we could talk about. But beginning in August 6th, there is a statute in place. There are mechanisms that allow you to self-administer. This is not a Kevorkian situation. This is not where a doctor is going to administer something that takes your life. You have to be in a position to self-administer medication that's provided by a physician. You have to go through a whole process to, get, the authorization, if you would. But it's now a law in New York State.
Can I ask you a question?
You may.
I read, this was a while ago, I think, am I correct when I read that you have to wait 6 months before you can apply it?
The question is do you have to wait 6 months before you can apply it? I don't think so.
You have to have been given a diagnosis that you have 6 months or less to live.
That's right. Yeah, you have to be terminal, I believe. I don't want to start quoting the statute because I
The
only read it
diagnosis, I went to a
once.
whole thing on that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
diagnosis is, you have to have a diagnosis of 6 months
Right.
to
And
live.
suppose you find out that you're in New Jersey,
Right.
you can get it in the next week if you have a terminal illness.
Yeah, no,
and you're 90 years old.
We're not going to talk about it now, right? The thing is, there is a process, and by the time you go to 2 doctors and have a psychological evaluation and
You'll probably be dead anyway.
right in New York, but that is it's a little more to it. But the 6 months was the diagnosis part of it.
Right. Yeah, in New York State, I don't know if it's outside, but in my world, generally speaking, if somebody is deemed to be terminal, it's a 6 month, period of time that they reasonably believe that you may, pass on.
So if you find out you're terminal today, you
Start-
and you want to die tomorrow,
Go to Jersey.
you're not eligible?
It won't. You have. I'm sorry. You have to be. You tell me if I'm wrong, right?
yeah.
You have to be evaluated by a doctor. You have
Multiple
to have a second opinion. You have to have a video or oral testimony that this is what you want. The pharmaceuticals have to be ordered from special pharmacies, and then other criteria involved. Like you have to be able to physically take the medication
be able to
yourself.
self-administer.
If you have a feeding pump, I do think you're allowed to press the button, but you have to be able to do that. Nobody can do that for you. So it's a lengthy process,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah.
new. So
it's new, yeah.
it may be that things get shortened down the road or the law gets tweaked. But for right now, that's the bulk of it, right?
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep.
In New Jersey, when my mother died, a family member administered it to her, and that was it.
No.
Yeah, that can't. New Jersey, we don't know about New Jersey laws.
Jersey.
But that's not, I don't believe, the case to be here in New York. So, again, because we have very limited time, and I would love to come back. I would love to meet everybody again. There's so much to talk about. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm very straight to the point. I like to teach. I do a lot of lecturing, but we could be here all day. We could really do an all-day, seminar. A lot of people come to my office and they say, Sal, I want to get my affairs in order. I need a last will and testament. And I'm like, that's great. What are you going to do if you get sick and God forbid you have to go into a nursing home or something like that? And then I usually get a blank stare for a few minutes. And I'll say, well, listen, it's great that you want to do a last will and testament, but I actually want to talk about your last will and testament last. What I really want to spend time talking about is what happens if you get sick someday, or should I say it differently? Can we agree that everybody in this room can get sick someday? And the answer is obviously yes. And if you get sick, could you end up in a nursing home? And depending on who I'm speaking to, they turn white, right? Because nobody wants to talk about a nursing home. But we have to talk about this, right? Nobody is saying that we're putting you into a nursing home by doing your planning. We're not saying that you're going to die if you draft your last will and testament, like I think a lot of my grandparents always felt, that everybody was afraid to come into the office to do this stuff because in Italian you put al maloik on you.
There you go.
We're just facing, reality. We're trying to plan, right? And a lot of people don't realize that or maybe you realize, but people don't really necessarily want to deal with it, which is natural. You could get sick and you could end up in a nursing home against your wishes, right? That doesn't mean somebody's dragging you by a chain into a nursing home. It's just that you could end up in a nursing home, unexpectedly, if you would. And if that happens, how are you going to pay for the cost of your care? And that's what my practice is focused on. Asset protection. As an elder law attorney, we work with people to protect their assets. There are very limited ways to pay for your care. By the way, does anybody have any idea how much a nursing home costs?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Somebody's got to know.
Average is about 13,000.
Yeah, you're off by about 10 grand.
Yep.
Yeah. A month.
Yeah,
Everybody's got different rates, and
they do.
but I know for about
Where are you guys from?
Northwest Chester for sort of.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to send more of my clients to you guys, right? Because right down the road, it's $22,000 a month. And on the other side of the county, it's $22,000 a month. And it's crazy, right? But so we should probably exchange information, right? And so a lot of times we're trying to figure out how to pay for this stuff, right? And so you could pay for it directly, which the nursing homes love, but the family members don't. You could have long-term care insurance, which not many people have, right? It's expensive to some. Some people can't get it, but it could serve a purpose. I'm not going to say not to explore it. It serves a purpose. There are different ways of approaching long-term care insurance. It looked a lot different 10 years ago than it does today. Medicare, and if you have Medicare, though, it only pays for 100 days, maybe. I'm not going to get into why I said maybe, but maybe.
Right.
And the last option is Medicaid. And that's it. Attorneys don't like to speak in absolutes, especially...
The veterans also.
Well, that's only income. Well, no. If you're... see, now you're trying to trick me, right? The veterans, that's a class in and of its own, right? Most people...
But most people, a lot of people are not aware of what
That's
they
right.
will do for you, and I really try to let them know that.
And by the way, the Veterans Home in Montrose is a very well put together establishment.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so our planning turns on Medicaid planning, right? And to be eligible for Medicaid someday, you have to talk about moving your assets out of your name. And the majority of my clients, the major asset is the house. And so we are often, the bread and butter of my practice is setting up these irrevocable Medicaid trusts that you may have heard of. They're very popular. Again, I've been here for over 20 years. I've got many clients in the Yorktown area. If you just go out there and start talking about these types of planning, a lot of people know it. They're familiar with it, right? And so that's the focus of our planning, and that's what everybody should be thinking about, right? There's a 5-year look-back period. So you don't want to wait too long because then you start running afoul of this 5-year look-back period, right? And so we want to get people in sooner rather than later. We want to talk about their options. We want to talk about putting the house into a trust possibly. And then there's a whole host of tax issues, real estate issues, star exemptions, veterans exemptions, all different kinds of things to talk about. And that's why you got to work with a seasoned elder law attorney and not somebody that is kind of dabbling in the practice area, right? Because if you mess it up, you could really mess it up, right? If you set up one of these trusts and it's irrevocable and you've got no way to fix the problem, that could be a big problem later on down the road. And so that's what we do. We do a lot of asset protection with the thought of trying to help people protect their assets for long-term care purposes. And so there's so much more to talk about. We still do last wills and testaments, but if you follow the bouncing ball, you could see why I'm not that concerned about a will, because in most cases, a will is not even needed when you die, because maybe you've got beneficiary designations on most of your assets. But the house could be taken if you get sick, you know, in different ways. There's different ways for Medicaid if you're on Medicaid. Yeah. And so the first thing I want to talk about is, what are we going to do to protect your house? I want to talk about what we're going to do while you're alive and you're disabled. Dying is not the problem, is what I tell my clients, right? It's that space between. I've written blogs titled this. When the space between today, when you're fine, you're vibrant, you can go out there, have a good time, go to the open house tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and the time that you get sick and need long-term care. That period in between is what we've got to plan for. It's the period of disability, right? And that's what I'm happy to help people with. That's what I've been doing for 20-something years. I have 2 offices, one here, one in Rye. You can find me on the internet. You could come to my office. Knock on the door. I'll be happy to greet you. And again, I thank everybody for inviting me, especially Noreen reaching out to me. Thank you very much. I'm happy to answer questions.
Yes, yeah. According to the trust, is it possible, we're doing it with my in-laws, my mother-in-law, half a trust, where half the house, and they don't touch the other half of the house in case they have to take money from the house, is like they split the trust in half, something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The question is does it make sense to draft 2 trusts?
Yeah, it's on one house. Half the trust, if they have to go into, but they don't touch, they'll never touch the other half or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The only time I ever really set up 2 trusts for one house is if I'm trying to actually combine tax planning with the Medicaid planning. You know, because you're still exposed on the outside. You know, I'm not sure why I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't put the whole house into a trust if the trust is drafted properly. And I say that emphatically, right? There are actually ways for me to change an irrevocable trust if it's drafted properly. You got to put certain language in it, right? But we could actually revoke an irrevocable trust in New York State, but you have to have certain provisions in it, and you need the consent of the beneficiaries. I'm not sure I can think.
I heard something about that. That's why I was asking. I thought you.
Yeah, I can't think of a reason why I would do that.
Yeah.
Home equity loan, can you take it on this?
Yeah, the house is paid.
Home equity loan, Deborah. I heard you just mention that.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because part of it, like, in my head, I was thinking, how would you try to get money out of your house if only half of it was the thing? So I was thinking maybe they wanted to go for a home equity
No, but the
loan.
house is the house, right? So the question is how do you get money out of the house? Maybe you could use a home equity loan. No, you can't. One of the fundamental principles of these trusts, and I could do an entire seminar on the trust, you can't have access to the principal of the trust. You can't take money out of the trust. And so if you have a home equity loan and you use it, aren't you taking the equity out of the house?
But that's why I thought, what other way would he be trying to get money out of the house?
Yeah, I don't know.
If half of it was in a trust and half of it wasn't.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know
More
more.
like a
I don't know how
protection
you
is
would-
what they were talking about. That's what
I'd be curious to know more about the fact pattern outside of,
I'll
you
try
know,
to find out myself.
I mean, the only thing I'm really kind of think, right, you know, trying to stretch, you know, there's an argument, there's something called a legal impediment where like, you know, if 2 people own a property, and over here it would be the trustee and the individual, I guess. There's you can argue that you can't sell it, you can't touch it, you can't do anything with it because there's a legal impediment. I don't see how that stops a lien, though. Why can't Medicaid put a lien against the half that's outside the trust?
Maybe that's probably what they were talking about. All right.
So I
find
just
out.
don't know. Yeah, you know, now Medicaid could put a lien against the house if you're on Medicaid. They don't always do it though, but they could. And so that's what we're trying to avoid. Any more questions?
No.
How does one reach you?
So I forgot. I have a whole stack of folders in the back with all of my information, some material that I've written over the years. So you just take a folder. My business card is in there.
Good, okay.
Yes. Who determines capacity? Oh, that's a really good question. Who determines capacity? For purposes of drafting legal documents, I do. And I don't, you know, I'm not calling myself anything other than an attorney. and it's sometimes really difficult, right? But capacity from a legal perspective is different than capacity from a medical perspective.
What do you mean by capacity? I don't understand.
From a legal perspective, I mean the ability to understand the gravamen and nature of what's in front of you, so that way you can sign it, and I'm comfortable having you sign it. So a great example is a power of attorney. Capacity, the level of capacity for a power of attorney is contractual capacity. You need to be understanding. If I took a contract for the sale of your house and put it in front of you, what would be the typical questions somebody would ask me? How much am I selling it for? When? When's the closing date? Where am I going after I sell this house? You know, are there any tax consequences? That goes to the gravamen of the contract. That's contractual capacity. That's what you need to have to sign a power of attorney. Capacity is different for a last will and testament. A last will and testament capacity is one lucid moment. You just have to have a moment where you understand your bounty and the nature of your bounty. You could be in a coma and come out of that coma and turn to me and say, Sal, I want Noreen to get my estate, and I can draft your last will and testament. You know, I might be simplifying that a little bit, but there are different levels. Just like in criminal law, you've got, remember the O.J. Simpson case, right? He was found guilty at a civil level, but innocent on a criminal level, because there's different levels of guilt. Same thing with capacity. But if I have to draft your documents or figure out if you're going to become my client, I've got to determine if I'm comfortable with your capacity. And there are times that I take positions and the family does not like my position. And sometimes families even get mad at me. But I have to be conservative. I got to do the best that I can. If you're in a hospital setting or a nursing home setting, there's a doctor that's going to determine your capacity. And sometimes doctors and attorneys don't agree. You know, Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive impairments. And this is the last thing. See, you got to stop. I'm an attorney, and you got to stop me from talking, right? And I'm going to stop after this. But this is, I wrote a blog about this years ago. It's on my website. But this is great. Just because you've been diagnosed with a cognitive impairment does not mean that you don't have the ability to come into my office and do your estate planning. And that's huge. And that's what people don't tell you. And that's what ChatGPT is not going to probably tell you, right? Cognitive impairments, especially something like Alzheimer's, takes years to develop, if you would. If you remember Ronald Reagan, I think it was 15 years. Yeah. I draft documents all the time for people that have the onset of Alzheimer's or dementia. As long as you can understand, as long as you've got contractual capacity, as long as we can communicate, right? So don't, if you know anybody, if you have family members, it could be anybody in this room, do not bury your head in the sand because you've got a diagnosis. It's an opportunity for you to get things done and get it done the right way. Okay? Again, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Kathleen?
Sal. I think you raised a lot of points that people are going to be calling about.
Kathleen, before you. Wait a few minutes, please. I just wanted to make a few, Jim, could I just make a few announcements before you take the stand, please? The committee spoke during our executive board meeting, and we made a decision about our meetings for next year. We will not be meeting January and February in the winter months. Because of the bad weather, we feel that we don't want to take chances on our seniors being out. Hopefully we'll have a good winter, who knows, but we're going to not meet January and February. But we will meet during the summer. Normally we take a couple of months off in the summer, but we're going to meet June, July, and August in the summer. Our next meeting, also for a bit of information, our next meeting next month will be the second Friday. It will be the 12th instead of the third Friday because we have Juneteenth, and the place will be closed that day, and we will not meet the third Friday. We will meet the fourth Friday, same time, same lunch that's provided for us all the time. Thank you so much to the Westchester Restorative Place. The lunch is fabulous. Everything is great.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you.
I just wanted to make that very clear. We still have these surveys here. We have the box out in the back. Please This is how we plan our meetings. Let us know a little bit of information about yourself, what you would like to hear from us, what you'd like to do. We would like you to place them in the box, and we collate them, and then this makes our decision on how we get our speakers. So hopefully, you know, if there's anybody that you'd like us to have or look into, we will try our best to do that. Also, we are still working on our, Sergio and Noreen are working on our discount program. They're out there, you know, going to all the stores and all the facilities out there to see who we're, I'm just trying to give you all this information now before Kathleen gets there. They're working on our senior discount program with the stores, with all the different beauty salons, restaurants, whatever, wherever. If you know of anyone that you think might give us a discount, please let Noreen or Serafina know, and we will check in it. There's a form that they have to fill out, and then we would give them a logo for their store. So that would be very interesting. Or put it in the box. Put it in the box there, and we will take it there. I think I've covered just about everything. If not, I'll speak to you again at the end of Jim Martirano speaking. So Kathy, if you want to introduce Jim now.
Could you just, excuse me, could you just reiterate, we will meet what months?
I did say that.
Reiterate.
We will not meet January and February. We will meet in the summer months. We will meet June, July, and August. And if we are on vacation or whatever, I know we always have a nice group here, but I know the TV has been busy. I meet people in the stores all the time, and they tell me they watch it on TV. So if you're away and you can't make it, it's published on the TV quite often. Tom does a great job on that. It'll tell you when it's being, that you could see it and you can watch it on TV, because we always have great information for you, and it's very important for you to watch us. Okay, thank you so much, and if you have any questions after Jim speaks, then we'll have a question and answer period, okay? Thank you.
And it'll also be on our town website for the Senior Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
So that's a very good place, too. But today we have Jim Martirano here. He represents the leadership of Yorktown Parks and Recreation. He's going to talk to us about what's happening.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again. So before I get into some of the Parks and Recreation items that we have, I got notified from an amazing resident of the town of Yorktown, Tony Sabazzano, who's here right now. Say hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
So Tony introduced me to a new program to me, but apparently it's been around for quite some time that a lot of people don't know about, but it's really amazing. It's the American Red Cross Sound the Alarm, Save a Life program. That program, the Red Cross will come to your house and install a smoke detector for you, and also check your smoke detectors. And even if you're hard of hearing, they have a bed shaker alarm that they'll install in your house as well that will notify you if the smoke alarm goes off. So it's really an amazing program that the town is really getting involved with now. And there's a number of numbers to sign up for this program. The local number is 845-673-1198. That's the local number that's for Westchester if you want to get that smoke detector installed. This is actually a national program. The national number, if you have friends and family in different states, is 877-733-2767. And if you're handy with the computer, it's soundthealarm.org/MNYN. MNYN. Just a really remarkable program. They'll even change your batteries if you have them. You have to have them on hand. They will not buy the batteries for you, unfortunately, but they will install those batteries for you if you have a battery that's out. Just make sure you have the extra batteries handy. So a really remarkable program. I hope all of you sign up for it because you want to make sure those smoke detectors work. We have questions.
Jim, can I interrupt you once?
Yeah.
We did have someone come speak to us quite a while ago. Very, very interesting. A lot of people signed up for it.
Good.
I never heard from them again.
All right, well,
They
they're
never,
still around.
They never came. They never called. A lot of people signed up. So I don't know what you could maybe check into that. If we're going to go sign up for things, are they
Yeah.
going to?
They wouldn't call us back. They get to the individual client,
Yeah.
who they go to, and the the actual alarms are free as well.
I understand that. They explained all that to us, and we filled out the form that they were
Oh.
supposed to call
And
us,
they never, okay, I get it now. They never
that they were
called.
supposed to call us and set up a time for when they would come.
To speak here?
They spoke
No.
here. We had
No, no.
someone come, we had someone come and speak
Because
here.
I talked to them earlier today, and they said a number of houses in Jefferson Village, and amongst other senior
First
housing
year Matt was in
complexes.
office, we paired with them.
Yes.
And we were actually helping people fill out the forms from the office, and they were getting called.
Yep.
I
and,
don't know what broke down.
The only reason I'm saying that is that I filled out a form, and I never heard from them. I called them, gave them my name.
So you
and-
wanted them to come to your house specifically? is
Yeah,
it? Okay. Yeah.
right.
Well,
Well, that's what they said, that they would come.
we will fix that, and we'll get them.
Okay, I just
reach
wanted
out.
you to be aware of that,
Thank
that
you.
was happening.
Thank you, and that's why.
Which is what
There you go.
January, February, and no
Yep. So
summer.
either
Okay,
Tony and
thank
I
you.
can help you get that contact as well.
Oh, we are, oh, okay.
Yes, that's what they had, Yeah.
Tony is saying right now that
Yes.
the whole
Until
process is
January and
free,
February.
whether they're coming by or they're.
I'm sorry, but
installing.
what you're
They can't hear
saying,
you, Tony. I'm sorry. They can't hear you.
they
unless
can't
you-
hear you
Tony,
because, it-
come up here.
and I'm sorry, one person at a time to speak. So if you want to speak here with Jim or speak at one of these mics, okay, that's
Everybody
great.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Speak
so
up.
what I'm
You have a
saying,
seat.
what I'm saying is, with Red Cross now, if anyone has any issues, please give me a call.
Okay.
Also, if everything is free, sometimes you hear something's free and you have to pay for this or that.
Right,
There's
right.
no cost involved at all. They will come to your house, they'll tell you how many you need, so you need one at least for every bedroom.
Right.
And sometimes even in the living room area, because people take naps in
Right.
living areas, so they'll put one in there. They'll check any of the alarms that you have to make sure that they're working. These alarms are good for 10 years. You don't change the battery. After
Right.
10 years, you take them out and you put a new one in, and we do all of that for free.
Yeah, they explained, they were fabulous. They were really great. They explained everything like that to us. They gave us forms to fill out. We filled out the forms. I personally, I don't know, and quite a few other people never heard from them again. I just wanted to.
I'm sorry to hear that,
That's okay.
because we
That's
were just
okay.
down in Yonkers,
Yeah,
and we put in 200 alarms over the week,
right. Well,
2
that's great.
Saturdays ago.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tony, can we have your cell phone, please?
Yeah, my cell phone number, my name is Tony Savastano, Savastano. My cell number is 914-906-3923.
Yeah, and we have the numbers to the directors of the ones that run this in here in Westchester. So if anyone's having trouble, we can kind of get right to them.
They
The
also-
other cool thing about this, Tony, that I learned today was every single one of their volunteers is background checked. They come with identification as well as a Red Cross T-shirt. So it is pretty safe
Yeah.
Yeah,
when it comes
it's
to
a very good
their
program.
volunteers.
Yep.
Thank you.
So if anyone has any issues at all, just give me a call,
Thank you.
because they've been very diligent about trying to
All
get
right.
as many of these out there as possible. And this is a nationwide program, so if you have any family or friends outside of the New York community, you can, like my son lives in Connecticut, you can use that same phone number or call me, and I'll make sure that they get them.
Thank
So
you.
some people only get one unit, some people have 10, depending on
Right.
the size of your
I
home.
think they also look at your house and, like,
Yep,
for all kinds
and
of.
they'll also give you safety issues, like when you leave the house, do you have a place to meet outside? Because sometimes the children go out one door and you
Right,
go out another.
right.
So this is a way of making sure that you have a game plan.
That's
And also
great.
how to use a fire extinguisher, you should have one in your house. Different types of fire extinguishers and which ones you should have and how they should be used.
And once again, that number is
you.
845-673-1198. If for whatever reason they're not getting back to you or you're having trouble, you can call my office, or Tony just gave his cell phone. Thank you, Tony, to the public. And you can reach out to him directly as well, and we'll get to the directors of that program and make sure that you're getting the attention you need. Also, I mentioned it last month, we are only 5 people away from getting this program off the ground. We've got the AAA, AAA Defensive Driving Course here in the town of Yorktown. We need 5 more people to sign up before June 13th, so please give me a call at 914-245-4650 to sign up for the June 13 course. It's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the community center. So please, I need a couple more of y'all to sign up for the good. Give me a call tomorrow. We'll get you signed up. So just a handful more. We have plenty more space after we get the minimum, but we're hoping that we just get a couple more
Tell them
calls.
they get a discount.
They do get a discount. It's the senior discount is $40 for the AAA course, and if you're a resident of your town, it's $50. And even if you're a non-resident, it is $60. Or if you're a non-resident senior, it's $48.
No, I mean a discount on their insurance.
Oh yeah. I mean, you get a 15% discount
Right,
on the
that's-
insurance
it's really
if you
worth
take the
it.
class. So that's very important. That's the most important. Not only do you get discounted to take the class, but you get the more important discount on your insurance throughout, I think, 4 or 5 years, I believe,
Oh, yeah.
on it.
3 years.
3 years?
3
Okay,
years.
3 years.
Okay, give us the number again, but slow down.
Yeah, sure. The number in my office is 914
Okay.
245 4650.
Okay.
And you can talk to anyone in the office and have them help you sign up for the defensive driving class.
I think we have them on our list.
That's through AAA and the Parks and Recreation. Yep. What was the date for that? That is June 13th. Yep, in the nutrition room downstairs in the community center. All right. Moving along. Our pools are going to be opening soon. A number of seniors have already signed up for their senior passes. Our offices are open from 8:30 to 4:30 on weekdays. So stop by at any time to sign up for those pool passes. We're also open up the mornings on Saturdays until mid-June. So please stop by and sign up for your pool pass if you haven't already. Junior Lake Pool will open on Memorial Day weekend, and Shrub Oak Pool should be open on June 20th. So, an exciting time in Parks and Recreation. We also have our senior swim hours. That's going to be starting June 30th at Brian J. Slavin Aquatics Facility and go through August 13th. And then Junior Lake Pool will have senior hours from August 3rd to August 14th. Those hours are roughly from 10:30 to 12 o'clock at those pools. So definitely come by. We also had Fam Jam, unfortunately, got rained out. So we've rescheduled that event to June 20th. That event has actually moved back to its original location, which is Railroad Park. So back at Railroad Park this year, Fam Jam, bring your family, bring the grandkids. It's going to be a great event. So we encourage you all to come. That is kind of all the news I have that's fit to print.
You want to mention the concert?
The concert series, I don't have the dates on me at this moment. Oh, there we go. So the Lions Club is hosting the annual concert series at Jack DeVito Veterans Field and Track. So make sure you're coming on June 28th. Showtime Dance Band, July 12th. That's the Danny V's 52nd Street Band. July 26th, the Radio Flashback. August 9th, Taylor Swift Experience. That's going to be a great one for all the grandkids. August 16th, Jessica Lynn, your town famous Jessica Lynn. She's graduated from Lakeland High School. And August 23rd, Tramps Like Us. So should be a great concert series this summer. Amazing bands, free event for the public. So the time here, I believe it starts at 6 p.m.
6.
Can we confirm that? 6 p.m.?
6. It is
6.
6.
Yes, and people gather at 5.
Yeah.
Bring the chairs.
Yeah, the people gather around 5 o'clock, get a good spot, bring your own chairs, and then by 6 o'clock it will start. I believe the last one, though, there's a veterans portion of that, and they do the veterans ceremony and music at 5. That one starts about an hour early, so that will be the August 23rd one, where they'll do a bit of an earlier show, followed by the Tramps Like Us as well. So
There'll be food trucks.
there'll be food trucks as well. Yeah, food trucks. Lions Club will be selling all sorts of goodies as well.
See your friends.
I also just want to remind everyone, I didn't get the brochures this month unless they're out in the back. The library usually gives me a printout of what's going on at the library. Just remember, we have many, many, many interesting programs that are going on at the library. They're usually published in the local paper also. So make sure you take a look or stop by. We have a fabulous library with many programs for every age group. So just want to remind you about that.
Jenny, thanks for bringing that up. I did forget to mention that on June 13th, Finding Your Revolutionary War Ancestors. That is going to be from 1 to 2 p.m. They will help you bring back your ancestry to the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
That's June 13th at the library. from 1 to 2 p.m. Really cool event.
They
So-
really have, I can't believe the programs they have there. Like I say, for every age group, it's unbelievable what they do there. So unfortunately, I didn't get the brochures this month. I usually get the brochures and tell me what's going on. But unless they put them in the back, I didn't get back there again.
Yeah, well,
But
it'd be cool
please,
to find out if you're a daughter of the American Revolution.
yeah, I'm old enough probably. Oh, God, anyway, thank you. But that's about it, I think, with all that's going on. We have a lot of things going on in Yorktown, which
And
I'm very
I do
proud
think
of
it's a great
Yorktown.
idea of what you're doing of having those summer meetings.
Yes.
And being safe over the winter. It
Yeah,
makes
I
a lot
think
of
so,
sense.
yeah, yeah. But we had already had speakers and everything, but we'll fit them in someplace else. We just want the safety for our seniors, and a lot of us are still driving, and we shouldn't be out on the road when the weather is bad. So enjoy staying home with a cup of hot chocolate and a good book, and enjoy your day at home that day.
Be
Let's
safe.
see.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Unless we have any other questions, do we have any other questions before Kathleen? Do you have any other questions for us here on the board? Anything that we could help you with? Just remember, we're here to help you if we can. I know I keep repeating myself, but I just want you to know that that's what we're here for.
We're information finders.
We try, we try.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
And don't forget, next month, we're the second Friday, which is the 12th, I believe. Okay? Thank you so much.